Last week I was mentioning a couple of reasons why many women experience back pain, and one of the reasons was poor movement patterns. So today I want to walk through just a couple of things that I want you to be aware of when you are moving to ensure that you are setting your back up to be as healthy and happy as possible. So let's dive in. The first thing that is essential for everyone is the hip hinge. Now, for many of us, we have lost the muscles that allow us to do the hip hinge, so this will feel hard at first. But the more you do it and the more you practice moving in this way, the easier it becomes for you. So what is the hip hinge? Well, basically, it is literally hinging at your hips. So like right here, where the hip connects to the leg. For many of us, we don't bend here, but we should. So when we do a good hip hinge, we are keeping our back straight, keeping our core engaged, and we are hinging at our hips. This is a really good thing to do when you are spitting your toothpaste out in the sink, when you're putting something on the table. But it requires strong glutes and a strong core, which many of us don't have. So what do we tend to do instead? Well, instead of moving this way, what we tend to do is this. We tuck our pelvis under, we round, and we are now putting a lot of pressure here on our back, stretching these muscles in ways that isn't really great. We're putting pressure on the discs in the back as well. So it will be very, very beneficial for you to start paying attention to the way you are moving throughout your day and trying to incorporate more of this hip hinge movement in. You can see when I move in this way, it maintains the integrity of the spine, and it's working some really important, really good muscles, the glutes and the core. Okay, so that's the first one. The second tip is about pelvis positioning, and it ties into that hip hinge point as well. But you want to pay attention to how you are standing, how you are moving through your day, and how your pelvis is positioned. For many of us, we tend to not live in a neutral pelvis position. We tend to either be too tucked, right? When I tuck my pelvis, it's like my tailbone drops down, I get this really flat butt, and I jut my hips forward. This puts a lot of pressure on the low back. It's also really bad for our hips, pelvic floor, core, like it's bad for lots of things. So many people do this, or they are too untucked. They tend to be sticking their butt out. They have this anterior pelvic tilt position, which is a really excessive curve in the low back. Now this makes it really hard for the core muscles to fire, so it puts a lot more pressure on the back. It also makes these back muscles get really tight and tense. So pay attention to how you live in your pelvis, right? If you are in either of those positions, you will want to work toward a more neutral pelvis position that allows the core to fire better to support the back. It also ensures that the back has a nice, natural, normal, neutral curve. It's a lot of N's. And it puts the least amount of pressure on our low back. You will feel once you get your body into neutral, right? It might take a little while to acclimate to it, but eventually it should feel a lot better on your back over time. All right. So that's the second tip. The third tip is really about using your core throughout your day to help the back. Now this is a tip I talk about all the time, blow while you go. And basically that means that whenever you're doing anything that requires some effort, you want to be using the exhale to help you engage the core on that effort. The core is designed to engage and fire when you breathe out. And then when you breathe out and engage the core, you put support on the back. When this is working hard, this doesn't have to work as hard, and it can relax a little bit more. So basically that means when you go to pick up your heavy kid, do it on an exhale. As you exhale, engage the belly, particularly that low belly, to help support the low back. So those are 3 simple movement tips. Again, they were: do the hip hinge, pay attention to pelvis positioning, and make sure you are blowing while you go whenever you are doing anything challenging. Those 3 movement tips will help you go a really long way in improving the health of your back and making your back feel better throughout your day. Now, if this sounds like something you need to work on, particularly this hip hinge piece, I want to share that next week I'm going to be releasing for just a few days a yoga practice video that's about 20 minutes long, and it is designed to help you build your hip hinge muscles. So it is a yoga practice specifically designed to help you build the muscles that will support your back and leave your back feeling much better, much happier, and much healthier. As I said, this video is only going to be available for sale for a few days. So if this sounds like something you are interested in, go ahead and click the link on Facebook. The link is in this post. On Instagram, you can go to my bio and you'll find the link there. You can put your name on the interest list for this yoga class to make sure that you get notified when this class is available for sale. It's only going to be available for sale for about 3 days, and it's going to be super affordable. So if you need some support with your back, put your name on that list and you'll get all the details when it is released next week. Have a great rest of your day. See you soon.